Oskar Schindler was born on April 28, 1908, in the small industrial town of Zwittau, Moravia, in what was then Austria-Hungary, now Svitavy in the Czech Republic. His father, Hans Schindler, owned a factory that produced farm machinery, and his mother, Louisa, was a homemaker. Oskar had a younger sister, Elfried. Growing up in a relatively well-off family, Schindler enjoyed a comfortable childhood. From an early age, Schindler exhibited a natural charm and a penchant for adventure. He was a charismatic and outgoing boy, known for his love of fast motorcycles and cars. He attended a technical school, but his academic performance was less than stellar, as he preferred to engage in more exciting activities outside the classroom. Despite his lackluster academic record, Schindler possessed a sharp mind and a keen understanding of human nature, traits that would later serve him well in his business ventures and his efforts to save lives during the Holocaust. Before the outbreak of World War II, Schindler's life was marked by a series of entrepreneurial endeavors, many of which met with varying degrees of success. His business ventures included operating a driving school, selling government property, and engaging in other small-scale enterprises. However, his ventures were often short-lived, and he struggled to find lasting success. Schindler married Emily Pelzel in 1928, but their relationship was often strained due to his infidelities and erratic business pursuits. Despite the rocky marriage, Emily remained a steadfast supporter of her husband's endeavors. As the political climate in Europe began to shift in the late 1930s, Schindler saw an opportunity to capitalize on the changing tides. He joined the Nazi Party in 1935, motivated not by ideological conviction but by a desire to benefit from the business opportunities that the new regime presented. His membership in the party provided him with valuable contacts and a network that would prove instrumental in his future endeavors. In 1939, following the German invasion of Poland, Schindler moved to Krakow. There, he acquired an enamelware factory known as Deutsche Emalwarenfabrik, DEF, or Emalia, which produced kitchenware for the German military. Schindler saw this factory as a lucrative business opportunity, especially given the cheap labor available in the form of Jewish workers from the Krakow ghetto. To manage the financial aspects of the factory, Schindler hired Itzhak Stern, a Jewish accountant and member of the Jewish Council. Stern proved to be an invaluable asset, helping Schindler navigate the complexities of running a business in wartime and suggesting that Schindler employ Jews to save on labor costs. Stern also understood that employment at Schindler's factory could serve as a means to protect Jews from deportation and death. Initially, Schindler's motivations were purely economic. He sought to maximize profits by exploiting the available labor force. However, as he became more aware of the atrocities being committed against the Jewish population, his motivations began to shift. The pivotal moment in Schindler's transformation came when he witnessed a brutal raid on the Krakow ghetto in 1943, where Nazi soldiers rounded up and murdered many Jews. This event profoundly affected him and catalyzed his efforts to protect his Jewish workers. As the war progressed, Schindler's factory became a haven for Jews. He went to great lengths to protect his workers, using his charm, bribes, and connections within the Nazi Party to shield them from deportation to concentration camps. Schindler's factory was declared an essential war industry, which provided some degree of protection for his workers. Schindler's List of Workers, which would later become famously known as Schindler's List, grew to include over 1,200 Jews. He used every resource at his disposal, including his personal fortune, to ensure their safety. Schindler's factory produced enamelware, and later, ammunition for the German army, though it is said that the ammunition produced was often faulty, deliberately sabotaged to ensure it was unusable. One of the most remarkable aspects of Schindler's efforts was his ability to maintain the facade of a loyal Nazi businessman while secretly subverting the regime's genocidal policies. He kept meticulous records and submitted false reports to the authorities, all while continuing to bribe officials and provide for his workers. His factory became a refuge, offering not only physical protection but also better living conditions and medical care compared to other forced labor camps. Schindler's efforts culminated in the relocation of his factory in 1944 to Brunlitz, in the Sudetenland, now Brunec, Czech Republic, as the Soviet Red Army advanced into Poland. He convinced Nazi officials to allow him to move his workers, arguing that they were essential to his operations. This move involved transporting his workers by train, a journey fraught with danger. Miraculously, all his workers survived the journey, thanks in large part to Schindler's intervention. At the new factory site, Schindler continued to protect his workers, ensuring that they had adequate food, shelter, and medical care. He spent his entire fortune on bribes and black market goods to keep his workers safe and relatively well provisioned. By the end of the war, Schindler was virtually penniless, but he had saved the lives of over 1,200 Jews, who would later be known as the Schindlerjuden or Schindler's Jews. After the war, Schindler and his wife, Emily, fled to avoid retribution from the advancing Soviet forces. They initially went to the American-controlled zone in Germany, and later moved to Argentina, where they attempted to start anew by running a farm. However, their efforts were unsuccessful, and they struggled financially. In 1957, Schindler returned to Germany, leaving Emily in Argentina. His post-war life was marked by financial difficulties and failed business ventures. Despite his hardships, Schindler remained in contact with many of the Jews he had saved, who often provided him with financial support. Jewish organizations also helped him, recognizing his heroic efforts during the Holocaust. In 1963, Oskar Schindler was honored by the State of Israel as Righteous Among the Nations, an award given to non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jews during the Holocaust. This recognition brought him some measure of comfort and validation for his actions during the war. He was also awarded the German Order of Merit, the highest civilian award in Germany. Oskar Schindler passed away on October 9, 1974, in Hildesheim, Germany. In accordance with his wishes, he was buried in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, where his grave has become a site of pilgrimage. His tombstone is inscribed with the words "Righteous Among the Nations" and is often adorned with stones, a traditional Jewish sign of respect. Schindler's legacy is a testament to the impact that one individual can have in the face of overwhelming evil. His story became widely known through Thomas Keneally's 1982 book, Schindler's Ark, and the 1993 film adaptation, Schindler's List, directed by Steven Spielberg. The film brought Schindler's heroic deeds to a global audience, cementing his place in history as a symbol of courage and compassion. Today, Oskar Schindler's story continues to inspire people around the world. His actions during the Holocaust serve as a powerful reminder of the capacity for goodness in the face of unimaginable horror. The lives of the Schindlerjuden and their descendants are a living legacy of his extraordinary efforts to save as many lives as possible during one of history's darkest periods.